This is Vivica Williams, and you're watching Head to Head. Today, we're talking about modern educational trends. Recently, a forum called Liberal Arts Leadership in Education was held here in Kyiv and brought together the most active teachers who exchanged new knowledge about education. To talk about more about this, we're joined in the studio today by Halyna Shlapai, one of the initiators of the program Liberal Arts in Ukraine. Halyna, thanks for being with us today.
Thank you for inviting. Pleasure to be here.
Right. Well, tell us about this project and also some of the new trends in education in Ukraine.
So I'll start with the forum. It was a series of programs held for teachers that started in spring 2017. It was initiated by the Ukrainian Leadership Academy. As we faced lack of teachers in regions, we understood that it's important to develop the leadership in educators all around Ukraine, and we started organizing forums to discuss the current trends in education, to address the challenges that teachers are facing with the school reform in place in Ukraine. Over the day, we've met with leaders of opinion in education from prominent Ukrainian educational institutions, and also Minister of Education Lilia Grinevich addressed the teachers, identifying that they are actually the agents of change in education and emphasizing the crucial role of teachers in school and in making sure that the reform of new Ukrainian school happens.
And what did you see during this forum? What was your gauge of how the teachers are and the type of teachers that you saw at this forum?
We saw a lot of teachers who are super motivated to learn more, to share their experience, to exchange ideas with each other. We also realized that they are very eager for practical knowledge. They have great practices in schools, but sometimes they also need to get more feedback, not from their colleagues who work with them all the time, but also from people sort of from outside who don't see them all the time. We also saw that they are eager for relevant education, for tools that could address the challenges in their communities, in their classrooms. And we also realized a huge interest in value-based education. Our program at the Academy is based on values, and we've realized that teachers also seek to learn more about this.
And tell us then about value-based education. What is this, and how are people looking to use this?
When we talk about values, we say that value is criteria for making a decision. It's sort of your inner GPS that guides you around the life. And as we make around 35,000 decisions per day, no way we can do all of them consciously. We start using some paths to make our life easier and bearable. In our academy, there are 7 values. So the first value is be free. Secondly, we talk about being real, be wise, be friend, be creative, and the last one is because we are Ukraine. So we strongly emphasize on the need of leaders in Ukraine, of those who have strong identity, who have leadership potential, who discover best in themselves and help others to see the greatest potential in themselves as well.
Wow. And so tell us about how this is working then. These are just really valuable, important 7 goals. And we've seen since your Maidan, this really, people have found not just the national identity, but pride in their nation and pride in themselves of Ukrainians. So it sounds like this program is really helping to take that and turn it into positive energy.
Yes, we feel that Maidan was a starting point for a new Ukraine, and the way it turns out to be depends on every Ukrainian. We work mostly with youth aged 16 to 20 who complete 10 months program, and the program is on campus, so they actually move to another city, live there and study all together. There are a lot of principles of liberal arts education. The program is not specialized. We don't believe that in this short period of 10 months we can actually give them specialization. But we believe that we can broaden their horizon, help them understand the core principles of the society. We use a lot of text, a lot of readings and discussions. One of the courses is great books. And we also we talk about the values, like we raise this question with the students, with the teachers, and have some special activities to teach them values.
And so do you see then the role of teachers changing based on this and the type of skills and values that you're helping to develop?
The role of the teacher is constantly evolving, as some of the trends that we see that teachers have to be very multi-skilled, and they also need to understand the connections of different areas. So this is shifting a lot. So now it's not enough to just be good in your subject. You also need to understand the broader context. So it's important that interdisciplinary connections are set up, are established with the teachers, that they communicate with each other all the time. One of our principles is great teachers, and these are not just experts in their areas like top historians or top people in sociology. It's also people who live with this passion. Like, they are very passionate about the things they study, they teach, they work in. This could also be top entrepreneurs who know how it works on practice, not just from theory, from research articles, but as well from practice, from failures, from constant learning.
Wow. So, and I was a liberal arts major and realized that how important this skill was in being able to better evaluate. And that comes in really handy now with a lot of false news, being able to evaluate things and to draw from so many different avenues versus being very well knowledgeable about just one thing. So where are some of the inspirations that your program has drawn from? Are there certain universities or programs that you've taken as an inspiration?
A liberal arts approach in the States and in Western Europe was definitely one of our inspiration. However, the program initially was inspired by Israeli mechinots. There is a similar program as ours. However, it prepares students for the army. In our case, it prepares them for the real life living and studying at university or starting their startups. So it was greatly inspired by Israeli. And the third thing, it's also colleges in UK and how the upbringing system works there.
Oh, wow. And so at this point, how many people have passed through the program?
If we talk about the students program, we have over 400 alumni. And in regard to the teachers, we did national programs and also one regional seminar. And the alumni community there is 450 people. This forum in particular was an open call, and we got over 400 applications from all regions of Ukraine.
And so do you see, have you had enough time to see the results and how it's being grown and shared when teachers return to their schools or universities?
We don't see the results from this forum as it was only a couple days ago. However, if we look at our previous sessions, we see teachers who come back inspired. They also feel understood, and they are eager to act, search for like-minded people, because sometimes they feel resistance in their community to change. If they overcome this resistance, talk it through, show some actions, they actually get partners in the community. But we also notice that a lot of people are actually scared of change, of something new. So we see teachers who started something like creative space or lounge zones in their corridors. Someone who dared to start a wall where all the students could just write down their feedback about the school in the corridor, somewhere in Poltava regions, and it felt brave. We also saw teachers who shifted the way they do their classes. They started to give more empowerment to their students. Like, they would ask students to prepare some topic, and they give feedback after the students actually teaches the class the topic. We also saw teachers who start using texts and discussions in their classes to discuss their humanitarian values.
Oh, wow. And so we know that the education and higher education reform and education reform in general has been a top priority for the country and one of the most successful. So is this also helping empower teachers, and is it allowing them to be able to enact many of these changes and things that they would like to do?
It is definitely empowering them. However, it also sometimes feels as there are so many changes at the same time, and sometimes the system actually collides when there are old standards and new approaches, and like the proactive teachers understand that it's a normal process and all the legal issues will be fixed sooner. It just takes time. But for some of them, it actually serves as a stop sign, or it scares them a little bit. But we see a huge desire for teachers to change, to be relevant to their students, to actually be teachers of the future.
Well, this is a case that, yes, we all find change a little frightening, but the biggest thing is to take that step and move ahead. So we're really glad that you brought and told us about this excellent program that's going on, and it's so wonderful to hear about some of the results.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
And that was Halyna Shlapai, one of the initiators of the program called Liberal Arts in Ukraine. Thank you for watching Head to Head, and stay tuned with UATV for more.